Hi guys, Irish Wealth here. Welcome back to another video. First of all, I want to start by saying thank you for the feedback on my first portfolio update video. Really appreciate it. So today's not a portfolio update video. I want to do just touch a little bit on ETFs, as I got a few comments and messages on Instagram and YouTube regarding my ETF holdings. So I just want to go through why I've picked these ETFs, what are the advantages, disadvantages, and that kind of thing. So if you're interested in that, stick around for the video. So you'll see here in my portfolio, I've got VUSA, which is my biggest holding, which tracks the S&P 500. I've got an all-world high dividend yield, VHYL, and then another all-world VWRL. So these are the three ETFs I'm going with for the time being. So I'd really recommend, if you're investing in Vanguard ETFs, to go onto the Vanguard investor website, where they do a really detailed breakdown of what you're actually investing in. So if we look at VUSA at the minute, and also just to highlight, if anyone's new to investing and doesn't know what an ETF is, essentially when you're investing in stocks and shares, you can either buy a single company, like buy a share in Apple, or you can go down the ETF route, where essentially what you do is you invest in this fund, which is distributed amongst hundreds or thousands of different companies. So instead of buying one share in one company, you're buying a fraction of a percent in many companies. So what the S&P 500 is the 500 or 505 top companies in the US. And that's what you're investing in when you invest in the VUSA ETF. So if we go into our overview here, you can see it's 505 stocks. And one really interesting thing is, if you go into portfolio data, it'll give you a breakdown of what it's actually made up of. So you can see here, the region is entirely North America, so that's where 100% of the companies are based. And then you get a breakdown of each sector. So you'll see it's very heavily weighted towards the IT sector, coming in at 27.6%, healthcare, and so on. So you can see the weighting of where your money's actually going. And then here you can see the company breakdown. So you can see that if you buy one share of the VUSA ETF, you're actually investing 6.3% in Apple. So although there's 500 companies in this ETF, the weighting is not the same amongst all 500. So essentially, the bigger companies that take up a larger percentage of the ETF will have more of an influence on where the price goes. So you'll see here, predominantly you're investing in Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, all the heavy hitters. So now if I move across into VHYL, you'll see that you're getting 1,500, so 3 times the number of VUSA. And if we go into portfolio data here, you'll see that we're actually diversified across a lot more countries. So you'll see the United States obviously takes up still a very large percentage of the ETF, but you get some exposure to the UK, you've got China in there, Germany. So you're diversified across the globe essentially into different markets. So that's why I like this one. And also with the S&P 500, it was very technology focused. This ETF is financials focused. And you'll see technologies down here at 10.4%. If we go down even further, then we'll see that the top companies are different to the S&P 500. There's different companies doing the heavy lifting here. So you've got big ones like Johnson & Johnson, JP Morgan, Procter & Gamble, Nestle and things like that, Coca-Cola as well. So another really good thing about this ETF is that it's a high dividend yield ETF. And if you go into distributions here, it should, when it loads, show you the most recent distribution, which was 33 cent per share that you have in this ETF, which is actually a very good paying dividend for an ETF. You'll see if you go back to September, it was up to 48, 45 there, and 26th of September 2019. So very, very good paying ETF in terms of dividends as well. And if we go to my last one, which is also an all-world ETF, you'll see that we have almost 3,500 stocks in this one. And if we jump into the portfolio data, you'll see again very heavily weighted towards North America, which is fine. Get a bit of exposure to Europe. And one thing I like about this one too is emerging markets is 11.5%. Again, you're diversified across many different countries. And then technology is the biggest weighting in this ETF. And you've got, financials and healthcare in there as well, telecoms, real estate. So again, a really good ETF. You'll see down here that the heavy lifters are a kind of a mixed match between the S&P 500 and my other all-world ETF. Very technology focused, Apple up there at the top. Google, you've got Tesla in there as well. So one of the comments I got on Instagram was there was a lot of carryover between my ETF holdings. And yeah, of course there is. So in here we've got Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook, which we already have here in the S&P 500 as well. So it's a very good point that, there's a lot of carryover, but I think having carryover isn't a bad thing. And I'm willing to accept that because I've got exposure to many different markets, companies when I buy all three of these rather than just investing everything into one. So I feel like I'm reasonably well diversified with these three ETFs. I've covered a lot of bases with them, and they'll be my go-tos from now on, going forward. So that's just a little bit of a breakdown into what ETFs are, what three I like to invest in, and that could change going forward. I am looking into possibly buying into the Global Clean Energy ETF in the future, but we'll see where it goes. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope this video was useful, and I'm hoping to have a portfolio update done by the end of the week, so you'll have another portfolio update by then. So thanks a million for watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.